Hi, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Lord Dragur. Thank you so much for that. For those interested, requests in any type of videos, whether it be movie review, re-review, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can, so thank you. Now, this is of the 2025 film Novocaine. Now, it stars Jack Quaid, who is the son of Dennis Quaid. He was also in this film Companion, which I didn't mind. That came out this year. I liked it. And this one I didn't mind either. I overall did like it for what it was. What's funny about this year in movies, there really hasn't been a film that has blown me away or anything. I mean, there's a couple films I've liked, but if I gave like a star rating, they'd maybe be 3.5 out of 5 stars, like that type of thing. So I do think so far this has been a really weak as fuck year for movies. Now, maybe this film will depend on how you feel about Jack Quaid. I don't mind him. Yeah, I don't mind him. I thought, did a pretty decent job. I thought he was likable enough. He was affable enough. And obviously they were going for someone who's not just the clear action hero. This is a guy who's supposed to be playing I was going to say bank teller, but technically a credit union. I think, like, not the boss, but the guy lower, assistant manager. And he has this condition where he can't feel pain. I guess he can't feel certain other things. So, for example, he has a timer that after so many, I forget, like 3 hours or so, to check to go to the bathroom because he can't feel that it's ready to explode or anything. So, or he doesn't eat solid foods because he's afraid that if he bites his tongue, he won't feel it. Now, I did, you may not feel the pain, but does that mean you can't feel anything at all? I mean, I may not be able, okay, like I'm hitting my tongue, but I know I'm not biting it. I mean, I don't know. But the whole deal is that for the most part, you can't feel pain. Well, I say the most part, he can't feel it at all. And that's kind of where the bits of action come into play involving that. Which I don't mind that idea. I think it's a fun enough idea. Granted, some of the injuries he gets makes it seem as if, oh, is he part zombie as well? Because some of these injuries he gets, I'm like, he's not dead. I get that he can't feel pain, but he also can't feel death as well. So, I mean, yeah, you're not going to this for realism or anything. But it's a pretty simple, straightforward story. I didn't mind the way it was shot. I thought that it was a cool idea to start with REM's Everybody Hurts. I'm like, okay, that's a natural fit considering what the premise is. And you see that Jack Quaid is a decent guy. I mean, when he works at the credit union, there's this older man who he doesn't have the money and he may lose his house. And so Jack helps and goes, well, I'm not supposed to do this, but how about this? We'll wait till after the holidays and we'll see if that could help you out. And I'll hide this paperwork. And, helps this guy out. He's a decent guy. Now, this is co-worker Sherry, played by Amber Midthunder. Now, what's crazy is I hated her performance in Prey. I hated Prey. I thought that was an awful Predator movie. An awful one. Awful. I did not like her performance. Here, I didn't mind her. Maybe because she was sharing, I don't know, actual emotions. Either smiling or carefree. And okay, yeah, she's not too bad in this. And at one point she accidentally spilled coffee on him, but he couldn't feel it. She apologizes and says, hey, how about I take you to dinner? He says no, but he's like, you know what? Let's go for it. And she gets him to taste some pie and pretty much just go from there. Even at a bar, she tricks a bully who knew our lead character from back in the day. He's the one who gave him the nickname Novocaine. So she hears about all this and then tricks the bully into doing a shot of hot sauce. I think like ghost pepper hot sauce. So of course our lead can't feel it, but the bully can. And then they go back to her place and he shows her. He's got these tattoos. Like I say, he can't feel it, so he has these tattoos, very intricate tattoos. Not finished yet, because that's the thing. By the end, they're finished to show their bond. And the two seem to work well together. Seem rather sweet, rather nice. And this does take place around Christmas time, because the next day, I think it's San Diego this takes place in. Robbers come in wearing Santa suits. They rob the place. They kill the manager. They threaten the girl. Our lead says the combination. He gets knocked out. So I guess, you can't feel pain, but at the same time, inside, you're going to be knocked out regardless. When he wakes up, he's like, screw it, I'm going to go after these guys and get the girl. And then the movie goes on from there. Now, I thought the movie went at a good enough pace. I didn't really feel like it got boring or slowed down. There are moments, of course, that do play up the fact that he can't feel pain. So there's this fight in the kitchen where the guy keeps throwing him around and bouncing him off things. And he's just like, hey, stop. There's a bit where there's a gun in the fryer, so he reaches in order to get the gun. Maybe the scene that could have done a little bit more, instead of just throwing the lead character around. They could have done a little bit more of him kind of not showing pain, the guy getting more and more confused, and maybe doing more different tactics. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Stay down. But overall, I thought it was an entertaining moment. Granted, I mean, is this a film I would buy and rewatch? No. Like I said, I thought it was fine. I liked it. But like I said, nothing has really blown me away. But I don't think there's a lot of egregious stuff in this. There's definitely some nice little violent moments and gory moments. I'm more talking about this one moment near the end, which I'll get to in spoilers, but there's some decent practical stuff, not a whole lot. There's a bit where you realize he's been shot, and then he gets that older guy from earlier that he helped at the credit union to get the bullet out, and the fact that he's doing it so willy-nilly and nonchalant, and the old guy's like freaking out. That was kind of funny to see that difference between the two. I mean, there's not tons of action in the film, but I mean, there's still some in there. Because it's not going for a John Wick type of takedown, beatdown type of thing. It's not that kind of movie. So there's no big gunfight battles. There's not a big explosive ending or anything. But yeah, I thought it worked for what it needed. And there was enough shit moments that made it work for me. To get more into spoilers, because this is a spoiler, you find out that Amber Midthunder, Sherry, is actually with the robbers, and her and the leader, which I thought the guy who played the leader was okay. I mean, I didn't mind him. It wasn't memorable or anything, but I thought he was okay. The kind of brother and sister, I think, adopted in a sort of way. And she's like, well, why'd you kill the manager? You're not supposed to do this, not supposed to do that. And of course, the lead bad guy's like, oh, who cares? Well, you're going soft and all this. And pretty much you get the idea that she does care for our lead character. But while that's happening, our lead has to go find her. There are these two cops, and I recognize the actors, but I forget who they were. I would have to look them up, but thankfully they don't shy away from the main thrust of the story too much. It's not like the lady and the beekeeper, where there's just a bit too much. They're there in the peripheral aspects, and I don't say did you need them. I mean, they were in there little enough to not make too much of a hassle or anything. And at the end of the day, the actors did fine. I think the one girl, was she in... I have to look it up, sorry. But on his trail to find where his new love is at, goes this tattoo guy. He saw a tattoo on the guy that he did kill in the kitchen by grabbing the gun out of the fryer and shooting him in the head. But then he finds this tattoo guy, tries to get some answers, and then there's a big guy, and he's throwing our lead character around. Again, spoilers, there's some fun moments in that. There's a bit where the big guy tries to do an elbow drop, but our lead puts something there, so the guy, like, impales his armpit. And then as the guy's throwing him around, he's got to get some kind of edge on this big guy, so he sees the broken glass, and he punches the broken glass, so his fists have broken glass in them. And the guy's like, what the fuck? And he starts punching the guy, not a ton of times, but enough times where it scratches him up, and even does this thing that scratches the guy's eyes out. Which I thought was kind of cool and violent and brutal. I did like that. Then tries to get answers from the guy. And ultimately does. So then he finds where the guy's brother is at, who he's also a bad guy. And unbeknownst to our lead, the place is booby-trapped. Which I thought was kind of an interesting idea to showcase that. And because of the booby traps, they don't affect him too much. So, like, there's this one that I'm sitting there going, would you really survive this? A mace comes out and hits him on the back. Now, his reaction's kind of funny, but it's still, like, embedded in his back. I'm like, wouldn't that kill you? I don't know. It seemed like it would. Or at least, hit some organs or bleed to death, but I guess not. Or it did in this case. So Betty Gabriel and Matt Walsh were the two cops. And Betty Gabriel, she was in Get Out. That's why I wanted to double check. In an Upgrade, The Purge, Election Year. But yeah, she was in Get Out. I think she was the woman who goes up to the lead guy in Get Out, and she's kind of trying to smile, but you could tell she's crying that something's wrong. And Matt Walsh, that's definitely a name I've seen in other stuff. I definitely recognize the name. He's part of the Upright Citizens Brigade. Oh, he was in Into the Storm. I remember liking Into the Storm. That might have been where I've seen him at. But he's known as a comedian. Again, they do fine for what they need to do. But anyway. But yeah, these booby traps, so like the mace, there's an arrow that goes through his leg. Among other stuff. At one point, he gets hung upside down The brother comes home. He tricks the guy and they're going, please, please, if you don't kill me, kill it quickly. So he tricks him into, oh great, he's going to torture me. And he's trying to fake the anger as the guy's, I mean, doing some really good, nasty practical effects. You're pulling his fingernails out. That just makes me cringe. I think the comedy could have gone further in that, where he realizes the guy's pretending to be in pain, and then the guy's, oh no, I'm really in pain, I'm really in pain, this really, really hurts. Like, to go further with that. Maybe even kind of make a joke as if it was, you know, like sex, he couldn't get it up, and the other person is faking it, like faking an orgasm. I actually thought they were going to go in that kind of direction. They really amp up the comedy. But they didn't, and I think they could have done a little bit more with that scene. That's just me. Now, earlier he contacted a buddy of his that he played this video game with. I forget what the video game's called. I forget if it's Elder Scrolls. It's one of those Elder Scrolls type of game, or maybe not that, but I forget what type of game it is, honestly. It was like an RPG type of game, the more I think about it. But this buddy, and eventually he shows up and helps out a bit. And I don't like this guy. It's the guy who played Ned in Spider-Man Homecoming, Peter Parker's buddy. This guy just does nothing for me. He comes in, he definitely looks like, I hate to say fatter, but shaved head, bald head. And I don't know, it's not that he does a bad job, but it's just like, does it have to be him? Like, can't it be someone else? And maybe that's how some people would feel about Jack Quaid. Like I said, I think he did a pretty decent job. He was likable enough. I didn't mind him, but I don't know, maybe some people be like, oh, can't it be someone else? Because this film did not do that well at the box office. It really didn't. I mean, it cost like $18 million. It made like $19 million in the U.S. I think it made like a little bit overseas, so maybe a little over $30 million. But I mean, if you cost $18 million, you only made over $30 million. It's not really good. That's not a hit. I mean, because you got share with the theaters, you got marketing, all that. So I would say it's pretty much bombed. Unless they get enough from streaming. I don't know how that works. And again, this is not an essential viewing. This is one of those films that maybe it's late night and you have Netflix and you watch it. Oh, it's pretty good. No. You know, that kind of that reaction. Maybe that's the thing. I had such to no expectations. But again, to repeat it's not going to be one time. It's going to be a ton of more times. Look who you're talking to. But yeah, it didn't blow my socks off or anything. But I mean, I liked it for what it was. Again, I'm not big on the guy who played Ned, but, you know, he's there. But yeah, there's some funny moments. He throws a knife and he's going to catch it, but then it gets in his hand, so he uses it to stab the guy. He uses the arrow that's in his leg, puts his feet up, and then jams it all the way through, so it gets into the guy's head. And then the buddy has to get him out because he's stuck, because now the arrow is in both legs and in this guy's head, so he's got to get him out of it. Thought that was a funny idea. Eventually he finds out where the girl's at. He finds out that she was kind of part of it, but she really does love him as well. The cops find where they're at. The one cop, Matt Walsh, dies. The other gets wounded. Jack Quaid, who was in an ambulance, gets taken by the bad guy, and Amber Midthunder is going to go after them. And the other cop is like, no, I'm going to follow you. The girl from Get Out. They go. And it's not like a big, explosive ending. It's pretty much There's a little bit in an ambulance. He uses defibrillator to shock him, but he touches the guy, so it shocks the bad guy as well. The bad guy's beating him up. I thought that this actually made me wince. It really did make me wince, which I can't remember the last time something made me wince like this. He's beating the guy up, and of course he can't feel it, but still, repeated injury is going to affect it, even if he can't feel it. So he takes Jack Quaid's arm and he breaks it, like done practically, and like the hands over here and the bones over there. It's something about that. Just granted, I was going to say, could you do? I mean, I guess maybe you could do. I mean, I did like breaking the bone, but this felt like something Jason Voorhees would do. But yeah, maybe you could. I mean, I never tried, never want to try. Or it's definitely not tried on me. So yeah, sure, I'll buy into it. But it just looked really like maybe wince. Just like, damn, this poor guy didn't deserve that. So Emma Midthunder tries to help. She's getting beaten up. So they don't do the fucking, she ate the girl in Prey where she's doing parkour shit and overcoming, a gigantic fucking, well, not gigantic, but fucking predator. Jack Quaid goes up, says a line or two, and jams his bone right under the guy's chin, which I thought was kind of a cool kill. Not just because under the guy's chin, but using his own bone. Like a fucking Wolverine. I thought that was pretty cool. Things work out. Amber's going to be in jail for a bit, but he could visit, and everything's fine and dandy. Sounds to me like there was nothing in it that made me that mad or angry or upset. Could they have pushed even more with the whole not feeling pain stuff? Sure. Could there have been maybe a bit more action? Well, again, how much can you really have a guy go through without, again, thinking, well, okay, are you sure he's not a fucking zombie? So it's one of those, like, you gotta... The amount of stuff he went through, even most would say, is unrealistic anyway. So to push even further, maybe ask a bit too much. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I liked it. I mean... Yeah, I liked it. This would go in the realm of the day the Earth blew up, the Looney Tunes film I saw, which I liked. Love Hurts, I didn't mind. I don't know which I like more, because Love Hurts, I would say I liked the lead. Like, Jack Quaid was fine, but T-Hoi Kwan I really enjoyed. And the action scenes are definitely much more martial arts, my kind of action. But at the same time, they had like a big part of no action happening that affected the pacing. And the female co-star was really annoying. So I would say like that, the action I enjoyed more. Here, there's some decent parts, but I would say this had a better pacing and was a bit better constructed. So I may still put this above Love Hurts. Companion I didn't mind. I would say I like this a little bit more companion, but action is my favorite genre, so I lean more towards that. Not amazing or anything, but I liked it. I thought it was pretty decent, and I didn't... Like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of issues with it. But that's just me. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.